On the morning of August 1st, 1966, shots ring out from the observation deck of the clock tower on the University of Texas campus. It marks the infamous beginning of the modern era of mass shootings in America.
I'm Sarah Ferris, true crime podcaster.
And I'm Katherine Schweit, the former head of the FBI's active shooter program.
And you're listening to Stop the Killing.
Morning, Stop the Killing fans. This is Katherine Schweit peeking in this morning just to let you know kind of what's going on here in the States regarding the high school shooting at the state of Georgia. We have a small high school of 2,000 students-ish and a campus where there are other schools, elementary and middle schools. And we had a shooting yesterday morning of a 15-year-old student who lifted his AR-15 style weapon up in the hallway of a school and began shooting. And quickly, within moments, there were 2 dead teachers, 2 dead students, and 9 injured students from gunshot wounds that will recover. All 9 students will recover. So I wanted to give you that update on that school, Apalachee High School, because it will become part of the language, unfortunately, of the shooting world. Certainly the beginning of the school year here in the States, and a terrible, terrible situation. There are many pieces of information that have come together. So many people want to know so many different things. So I wanted to just fill you in on a couple of them as they continue to break. One is probably just because of my background foremost, from a timeline standpoint, news came out yesterday that the FBI had received information on an anonymous tip line, last May about an individual who wanted to commit a shooting, school shooting. And one or more people reported that to the FBI's tip line. So here's what that means, because you're going to hear that in the news. And I've already heard news people say the FBI didn't arrest this kid, even though he told them he was going to do this shooting. So let's just break that down briefly, and then we'll come back and do some more things. But just for that particular piece of information, the FBI gets that information, and then it shares that information with the local police. That's their job, to share that information with the local police. In this case, they reported it to the jurisdiction of the sheriff's department. How did they do that? The people who provided the information to the FBI tip line provided information that gave them access to be able to get a court order to go to track down the IP address so they could track down the physical location of where the computer was, where the threat was made. That computer was in the home of this shooter, whose first name is Colt, not Colton, Colt. And I say that because there's another child with a similar name his name has been bandied about as if he was the shooter. He is not. Colt is the name of the shooter, the first name. So the FBI was able to get a search warrant to determine the IP address, which indicates where the physical location of a computer is where the message was sent. They relayed that information to the Jackson County Sheriff's Office in Georgia. The Jackson County Sheriff's Office went to the subject's house, spoke to his father and the subject. This was in May-ish of 2023, spoke to the subject. And then 2 things happened there. The father said, yes, there are guns in the house, there are hunting weapons, and the kid doesn't have access to them. And at this time, this kid was 13. So I spoke earlier and I said the shooter was 15. He's 14. He's a 14-year-old shooter. He was 13 at the time this tip came in. And so first of all, yes, there were guns in the house, hunting guns. And the father said the child doesn't have access to them. And then they spoke to the boy who said, well, I didn't write that message. It wasn't me. So I'm not sure what else the county sheriff's office could have gone through in terms of getting information from them. The boy denied he had sent the message. The father said the kid didn't have access to the guns. This was in Jackson County in Georgia. Then the next year, the circumstances changed. The child changed schools to the current county that they're in now, where the high school is. That information, although it was also relayed to the Jackson County school where he attended, that information did not relay to the Apalachee High School or the school district there in the county that he's in now. So that's one of the things that I think we've determined so far, and we'll be able to we'll have to find out and follow that up. But I just wanted to let you know, with regard to this tiny piece of information, here's the FBI circumstance. They get the tip. They do the best they can to gather the information they can. They share that information. Some news sources are saying that the FBI interviewed the child and his parent. The FBI didn't do that. That would have been done by Jackson County. Jackson County says, is acknowledging they did that interview. They couldn't find any probable cause to charge the parents. I know that's very frustrating to those of us who might be listening to say, well, why? But the law requires there to be a reason, right? Before you take somebody's guns or before you arrest somebody or hold a parent responsible for something. So in the state of Georgia, you're allowed to have guns, and you're allowed to, there aren't red flag laws. There aren't these other ways that we might be able to step in. So what the school did, I think, is in what they didn't do. Both schools, over time, time will tell. But I just want to share that tiny piece of information with you about our shooting that happened here in the States yesterday morning. Hang in there. Stay safe.
Thank you for joining us on Stop the Killing. Remember, these conversations aren't just important, they're necessary. If you're ready to dive deeper into the issues we cover, Katherine's book, Stop the Killing, and also How to Talk About Guns with Anyone are available now at katherineschweit.com. Stop the Killing is proudly produced by Sarah Ferris Media. For more award-winning podcasts like Conning the Con and Watching Two Detectives, visit sarahferrismedia.com. As an independent podcast, we rely on your support to keep these critical discussions alive. If you value our work, please consider supporting us on patreon.com/stopthekilling or by simply subscribing on Apple Podcasts now. Not only will you help us to continue this mission, but you'll also get early access to ad-free episodes and exclusive content that takes a deeper look into unfolding incidents. And don't forget, Stop the Killing is a team effort. You can make a difference by leaving a review on Apple and sharing this podcast with others. Together, we can keep pushing these conversations forward. Thank you for being part of this journey. Stay safe, stay informed, and let's continue to stop the killing.